Well, it's finally happened, guys. I officially know what it feels like to be a victim of gas. Is that stupid? It kind of feels that way. For the past 2 years, I convinced myself that this lens would be the answer. I think it's been 3 years now since I've been swallowed up and poisoned by the motherlord of Sony and, fell victim to shooting on Sony cameras. I think it's been 3 years now. But the whole reason, well, not the whole reason, but one of the primary reasons that I entered into the Sony ecosystem to begin with is this little guy's older brother. Now, just to clarify, this is the Sony Power Zoom 16 to 35 f4 G lens, okay? It came out a few years ago, and I have been convincing myself for the past 2 years that it's been out. I think it's been about 2 years since it's been out. I've been convincing myself that this is the perfect companion to the 28 to 135 f4 Power Zoom. Okay, but this is it, right? This is the motherlord. I've done a whole video on this big honking lens right here, 28 to 135. It easily turns into a 28 to 200 if you take advantage of Sony's clear image zoom, which I do all the time. I do not care. Speaking of which, if you do that, this lens basically becomes like a 16 to 50. But keep in mind, these are both f4, and I know a lot of people always complain about, oh, this lens is too old and too slow. Well, slow in terms of, well, kind of in terms of its zoom speed, because the zoom is a little slow, but mainly in terms of its aperture of f4. And honestly, guys, when you have a Sony camera and you combine that with being a full frame Sony camera, I've never had any problems with the f4. I've shot so much stuff with this lens, and look, I can put videos to things where I've shown this lens multiple times in previous videos. It's been my workhorse on documentaries, industrial documentaries, corporate jobs, commercial jobs. It's a perfect run and gun one-man band thing. I literally just shot a live show with it on the FX6 as a roaming cam. It just didn't matter that it was f4, and in that situation of the live show, I guess since I had just recently picked this little guy up, I just used this on the B cam, which was the A7C II, which I'm filming with right now. And as you'll see there, it's just kind of, just very basic kind of last minute, live show setup. But the reality is like I had this little guy zoomed in to around the 32, 35 mil. It might have been even tighter than that. And then at that point I was thinking, what's the point? I could just put my little 40 mil 2.5 G lens on there. And that's something that I think has been the biggest eye opener for me with this little power zoom lens, where it really, I'm just so disappointed in myself because I was convinced that this was the lens, right? And it just kind of isn't. The ultimate vlogging setup, you'd have it. But this is about the scope of it right here. 16 mil. I guess this is what you could do with it. Log it up a little bit. This is the widest. 16 mil all the way up to the. That's with the clear image zoom. So now we've turned it into a 50 mil. We can back out to where 34 mil. It's right before it hits the clear image zoom. 1 millimeter away. I don't know. I don't really do stuff like this. It feels very awkward and not my thing. But we can zoom in up to 50 mil. Much like this. Like that. I don't even know if any of that was in focus. I guess that's one way you could use it. There is just one small issue I have with it, is the vignette. I don't know if you can see it right now, but what I'll do is I'll flip this around and we'll shoot up into the sky and you'll certainly see it. Okay, so Ah, I think this gimbal is, yeah, she didn't quite let me do that for some reason. Hold on. This gimbal keeps falling asleep. Like these Ronins don't let you do anything like wonky and weird. In other words, creative. Like as soon as it starts going crooked a little bit, it starts beeping. Look, it won't sit like this. Why will the gimbal not sit like this? This is crazy to me. I just had to go handheld here because I don't know how to make the gimbal just be cool. Oh, so let me take this out of, I'm gonna actually take it out of steady shot so we don't get any zoom in on the sensor, okay? So now this is video mode, so this isn't as bad, okay? Do you feel it when I darken down there? Now, a lot of that could be the ND filter, so let's take that off. So we're all the way at f22, and we're fully zoomed out. I'm talking over a million things, traffic, planes, construction. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the ISO just a little bit here. So just watch it now. And then I'm gonna start zooming in and you'll slowly see the vignette go away. Around 21 mil, there's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's where I feel like it really goes away. I opened up a little bit. Let me open up like one stop. So I dropped down to f16. I'm gonna zoom back out. So there I'm zooming in, I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, now just for reference, this is video mode. So I'm gonna show you some stills right now. I saw something down here. Let's go check it out. Zoom in a little bit on that. Take it all the way right before it hits the clear image zoom. Right now I'm just adjusting the focus myself. There goes the gimbal again. The gimbal does not let you touch the camera at all. It sucks so bad. I can't even touch it to focus it, dude, without the gimbal freaking out on me. The focus on this lens, okay, that's where we want to be. So I'm not sure what focal, oh, go a little lower, get that popcorn in there. I'm not sure what focal length we're on right now, but I also cannot tell if that's in focus, to be honest with you. Let's see, what were we at? 32, so that was it, yeah, so that's like 32 mil versus, what the fuck would you do way out here at 16? I guess, I mean, I get it. For like certain things, trust me, I'm come from the skate culture. I get the 16 mil craze, like I get it. But for everyday storytelling, I just don't know, bro. That's nuts to me. But look at that vignette. I mean, even right there, you could see it. Let me pull back out. Look at that vignette. It's like purple. Oh, that's the ND. My bad. I forgot I put that back on there. Look, there goes the gimbal again. I am not allowed to touch the camera at all. I gotta just tap the little screen there. Let's see how good this lens holds that focus on through that gate there. It's not too bad, honestly. Could do something goofy like that. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Because look, I zoomed all the way in now. What am I sitting at right now? Oh, that's a 25, see? I love like 25 mil, 24 mil. Anything wider than that, though, I just feel like, oof. Like as soon as it starts, like watch. Okay, right there. Ah, this dumb gimbal, dude. Oh, I hate this gimbal. Why does it beep every time? You can't even touch the camera, dude. Please, someone tell me how to fix these DJI gimbals. All right, so check this out. Right now, this is at, what are we at right here? That's a 21 mil. It's beautiful, right? Man, that ND is pretty bad, ain't it? It's like, it's got purple right there. Look at that. Ugh. Or what color is that? You guys tell me what color that is, but that looks purple to me. Okay, so now, this is a 21 mil. I'm gonna start going wider than this now. Here we go, 20 mil, 19 mil, 18 mil, 17 mil, 16 mil. It's cool, I guess, right? But just like in theory, like I wouldn't ever, I don't know. I mean, obviously I showed me riding the skateboard. I mean, that makes sense. When you need to go ultra wide, yeah, maybe you're right, man. But yeah, it's cool that you can zoom in and out without affecting the gimbal, but like as soon as you, now that's all the way zoomed in. That's 35 millimeter plus the 1.5 clear image zoom. Nothing's in focus, hold on. Well, that's not really helping either. Let me try to manually focus without the gimbal yelling at me. Here we go. And I just want to get in on that damn sign back there, but I think it's just a tad too dark. There we go. And I want to sign the graffiti. There it is. I guess that's as good as we're going to get it. Yeah, so that's zoomed all the way in though, I believe. Yeah, another plane. There's like a plane every 2 minutes. It was like an airport by. But so this is technically like a 52 mil probably, I think, with the 1.5 clear image zoom. So if you want to turn that off, you can do that. But I always leave it on with all cameras. I don't care. Okay, we'll go back to, that's 35 mil right there. So that's the true 35 mil. Well, according to what the lens is telling the camera, we don't know how true that is. Because with the 28 to 135, it is never the right thing. But with this one, it seems to be fairly accurate. The focus peaking did not turn on until I got all the way back out to 16 mil. And as soon as I start zooming in, it turns off. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I have no focus peaking. Right here is 33 mil, so we're out of clear image zoom, and I still have no focus peaking, and it doesn't turn on until about right there, about 18, 19 mil. So that's something weird with the lens too. Okay, we can stop looking at this, I think. I mean, I'm so torn about it. I honestly don't know. I think as you know, what happens is you get poisoned with the Sigma Art 18 to 35 f1.8 that we all had for Super 35. You know, like the ultra beginner goat lens. We all had that. I mean, people still craze about it. It's an amazing lens. But the switch side to that is because it's a Super 35 lens, that's not actually a true 18 to 35. It's actually more like a 24 to 50 because it's a Super 35 lens, right? So I think that we hear that, you know, 16 to 35, it reminds us of the Sigma Art 18 to 35. But this 16 to 35 is not that. Well, especially because it's an f4 versus a 1.8, right? But it's really because of the true focal length. You know, you're talking about a 16 mil on a full frame. That's not Sigma Art 18 to 35. So that got me thinking about the new Sony, well, sort of new Sony 24 to 50 2.8. So now I'm thinking, would someone trade me this 16 to 35 power zoom for the Sony G24 to 50 2.8? That's a pretty decent trade, honestly. If you're really into super ultra wide vlogging, whatever you do, and you just need that super ultra wide on your full frame, it would make sense. And the power zoom is so sick. I mean, my main attraction to it again was because of that 28 to 135 power zoom. I'll probably never get rid of that lens. It's been the workhorse for the past 3 years. I mean, it literally was the first lens I had as soon as I entered the Sony ecosystem. It's actually one of the reasons why I bought into the Sony ecosystem, was because of that 28 to 135. And I just thought, I convinced myself for the past 2 years that this was the solution. This is the perfect companion to my workhorse lens, because they're both power zooms, they're both f4, you know, but it's just like, nah, man, that ain't it. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm melting. Also though, why so many random boards? It's like, well, I need this board for when I'm filming or cruising. I need this board for when I want to try to do tricks again. And I need this board, I guess, when I go to the beach. It's a little crazy. It's getting a little nuts. But also, I just thought about something. This power zoom G lens does not have stabage. It has no stabage. It has no image stabilization. And that's a bit of a bummer because the 28-135 f4 zoom does have image stabilization, and it is quite old. Now, right now, I just have on, oh, I do have active stab on. So this is all handheld with active stab. Obviously, you know, the wider you go, the harder you're gonna have issues with, you know, camera wobbles. But the tighter you go, it does become a little bit of an issue, you know, as you can tell. It's like, oh, wow. But yeah, this lens, the autofocus is not great either. It kind of hunts around. And that's kind of a bummer, being that it's an f4 to begin with, you know, and then it's like, the autofocus isn't as good, man. I mean, honestly, it's probably on par with the 28-135, which is a way older lens, you know? Like, let's see if it grabs me real quick immediately. I feel like it's still not on me, is it? Yeah, it's not grabbing me at all. There it goes. See, it's not great, bro. Okay, yeah, I feel like I covered most of everything that I needed to cover in the outdoor vlog there. If you're still around, I think I've earned your subscription at this point. It's a weird one, right? I do love how tiny it is. I just, you know, for me, it's just not a thing that makes a lot of sense because I'm just never gonna go wider than like a 24 mil. I just know that. And I already have an 18 mil 2.8 Zeiss Milvus lens, so I don't need to, like, you know, and it's like, if I ever needed that wider focal length, I would just throw that Milvus on. But, and the funny thing is I already knew that about myself. Like, I already knew that, like, for me, like 24 is the cutoff point. When speaking of full frame, I cannot stress that enough, right? But in full frame terms, 24 mil field of view, focal length, whatever you want to call it, that is always kind of been my cutoff point. I just thought, well, you never know, it might be cool to go a little wider, you know, I'm doing the YouTube thing, but it's like, nah, dude, I'm good on that. So yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, if you're on the fence about it, you got to really think about how wide do you need to go? Like, really, like, hey, if I was still doing real estate, you know, this would be the jam. You know, I can understand where this lens could really shine in real estate. I really do. I think it's perfect for that, actually, when you combine it with the power zoom and the gimbal and everything. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for real estate guys. Again, perhaps wedding guys that do like a lot of wild, like super close, like running shots, or I'm just trying to think of like interesting things that you could do with this on a gimbal. Certainly in skateboarding world, you know, if I was still filming a lot of skateboarders, this would kind of be the go-to. You know, when you combine this lens with the gimbal, it really could be the go-to lens. But again, most of those things involve some sort of action, you know, coming from like a narrative viewpoint, unless you're really into like crazy Chivo look. Maybe, you know, and when I say Chivo look, I mean like when he does a Terrence Malick film, so they get pretty wild on those, like Tree of Life and stuff like that, you know, literally where every cinematographer got any ideas ever from. Yeah, it's called Tree of Life. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, I don't know, you might have to really sit and think about it, because having a 16-35 on full frame is pretty gnarly, and I think the amount of boxes that it checks is a very small niche. I could be wrong about that. Or always there is the vlogger realm as well, which it makes a lot of sense for that as well. I don't know why, but it's one of those things where you're like, damn, I wanted to like it so much. And it could have been one of those things where you could have just rented it, you know, and then you would have known. This was a different way. I came by this via trade. So because it was a trade, I was just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But again, it's like, man, I wanted to like it so much more. Maybe you will. Maybe you will. I mean, guys like Gerald, you know, they said it's one of the greatest lenses ever. If you really need those wide focal lengths, I guess it makes sense. For most guys, I don't think you're gonna need anything wider than like 24 mil on full frame. Quite honestly, I mean, 24 is wide. But again, what the hell do I know?